Pearson. Put through by Greenhoff. Jones is after it. Pearson shot, goal!
Yes, the big names and the big action on this programme as we welcome you to a new season of The Big Match, and it's good to be back with you. New pictures at the start of our show, and indeed a chance for us to begin the season in style. Our 3 games yesterday produced 13 goals and some thrilling football as well. We'll hear the views of Terry Venables, the manager of Crystal Palace, our studio guest today, and Greg Chappell, Australia's cricket captain, who enjoyed a day's football with us. Now the 3 games I mentioned. Our feature match is from the Den at Millwall, the second division derby game between Millwall and newly promoted Crystal Palace. Backed up by Newcastle United against Leeds United, a real thriller this one that was decided in injury time, and Birmingham City against Manchester United. No shortage of quality action then as we start down the Old Kent Road along with 15,000 fans at Millwall.
It really is a boisterous crowd here at the Den for this local derby, so the atmosphere should be a powerful one. And if you need any reminding of just how close these neighbours are, you can pick up the Crystal Palace Tower there. That's a matter of half a dozen miles away from this Millwall ground at the Den. Both sides, in fact, come to this game with a new look about them. The best-known new face for Millwall is Brian Hamilton, the Northern Ireland international they brought during the summer from Everton. And he teams up alongside Brian Chambers from Luton, the pair of them having cost £40,000. A first chance, too, for Ian Pearson, who leads the attack after scoring 48 goals for Wycombe Wanderers in the Isthmian League last season. As for Crystal Palace, they really give youth a chance. A first chance to a 17-year-old Welsh youth international, Peter Nicholas, one of the mainstays of the side that won the FA Youth Cup last season. And another bright youngster from that same triumph is the number 7, Vince Hilaire. He's also only 17. Not forgetting Kenny Sampson, another defender, only 18. So this is how the sides line up then. Millwall with a side that's had a patchy pre-season warm-up, having lost 6-1 at home to Ipswich, but then getting a good 1-1 draw here against Derby County earlier this week. Manager Gordon Jago confident about the coming season, and it says something for the strength of his side that Phil Walker can only get on as substitute. Crystal Palace come basically with a side that gained confidence from a 5-1 win over Brentford in the League Cup in midweek, except that an hour before the kick-off, goalkeeper Tony Burns felt unwell, and his place now goes to 20-year-old Peter Caswell. They too look a side that's well-balanced, and with Terry Venables as their manager, are sure to put a high emphasis on the pure skills of the game. The man in charge today is referee Alan Robinson, who comes from Waterlooville in Hampshire. So away we go at the start of a new season. Not really the blistering heat that we normally associate with the start of a new football season, but certainly the atmosphere should be warm enough here for this local derby. Nicky Johns, the Millwall goalkeeper, 6'3", only 20 years old, an engineering apprentice. Incidentally, it's worth looking at the other goalkeeper as well, Peter Caswell, who only got into this side at 1 hour's notice when Tony Burns was injured. Evans. And foul by George Graham, giving Millwall another free kick. Hit in low that time. Pearson back heeling, and in fact Lee got a ball he really shouldn't have got, but he got it nonetheless and across the face of that goal, and Palace badly caught out there. In fact, Pearson did very well in controlling it, a back heel which it looked as though Perrin might get that away for Crystal Palace, and I think maybe he should have done, but Lee got hold of it, and that drive across the face of the goal wasn't far off from putting Millwall ahead. Graham. Free kick to Crystal Palace. They usually come up with 1 or 2 surprising things from free kicks, and I think this might be just a little too far from goal for for them to catch Millwall out. We shall see. I suppose it's what? It must be 30 yards out. Harcook and Graham. Harcook. Well, winding it in there. Very cleanly struck indeed, but John's beautifully positioned behind it. Really does strike the ball well, Harcook. He winning it in the air. Cannon getting it away. Perrin off in chase again, and Moore getting there first. Taking quite a knock on the back of the knee as he did so. It was the knock he took, John Moore, as Steve Perrin chased after him. The contact was there, and that's what caused the trouble. In fact, the referee's going across there, taking John Moore off. So Phil Walker about to come on, a brilliantly gifted player. In the middle of the field, the First Division clubs have been looking at him. And although it'll mean a reshuffle in the Millwall side, they certainly won't lack the skill with the inclusion of Walker. Seaman to Pearson. Played nicely there by Pearson for Seaman. Hamilton. Lee crossing it in there. A lovely balance he's got, this young number 7. Took a strong challenge there from Dave Donaldson to beat him. He's only 17. Ken Sampson with the free kick for Crystal Palace. Rashid Harcook. Graham. Everybody except the Palace goalkeeper in the Millwall half of the field. It's all a bit crowded there. There's not a lot of space, and it's a throw now to Palace. It's not the sort of game that would have you clamouring at the gates to come in for the next instalment, but Kitchener had to get up well there as Perrin tried to get in on the blind side of him from that cross, and Kitchener using his height to very good effect, as he's done for so many years here, just nodding it away for the corner, which Nicky Chalobin will take. Cannon is up, Evans is up, George Graham is right in there as well. Perrin and Bourne, they're well represented there, Crystal Palace. Signal there from Chalobin, and a goal by Ian Evans. It's an old trick, and it so often works for them. Millwall well and truly caught out. The beautifully flighted corner there from Nicky Chalobin, and just look at the space that he had, and nobody could get to that height. Ian Evans, hard and downward, 1-0. Millwall 0, Crystal Palace 1. 7 minutes from half-time. Well, it's just what the game needed, and that wasn't what Steve Perrin needed. A really strong challenge there by Barry Kitchener, and another free kick to Crystal Palace. So Palace's kick. George Graham with it. Now Sanson. Perrin. Evans. Oh, a bit of space here for Sanson. Wide of the mark. And there was the little fullback who's allowed so much freedom there on the edge of that Millwall penalty area. Didn't really make the most of his chance. Hazel. Nice jump there by Pearson. Seasman fell at the crucial moment. Hilaire got it away. Donaldson's header. Here's Hakouk. That's cut out by Hamilton. Withstanding the challenge of Nicholas. Nicholas, the two youngsters, both 17. And then the old hand, if you'll excuse me, George Graham, finding Jeff Paul. On again. Sanson. Chaladon, oh, a lovely flick there by Nicky Chaladon. Sanson linking up well with the attack. Bourne couldn't find him. Oh, and now he has. A mistake there by Hazel. Sanson coming in, played it back there. Bourne couldn't get the shot. And Donaldson whacking it away, but only as far as Nicholas. A deflection there, which Johns is equal to. Hazel. Pearson. Nobody there. Peter Nicholas to Ian Evans. Long ball there, trying to get it over the midfield, over the defenders for the strong runners like Perrin to go for it, and here is Perrin. Hakouk, good piece of running here by Graham. Palace beginning to come into their own a little bit now. Oh, nice play there by Graham. That might be a little too firm though. Hilaire was coming in on the far side, and Brisley just brushing it away. Here's Lee. Donaldson. Given away again, here's Sanson. Bourne. Chaladon. A little chip in again there towards Perrin. A nice header by him. Hakouk is there, and a good save by Johns. Perrin doing well to get that ball into Hakouk, but how well he did. It looked as though it was past him, but those long legs stuck out, and it took a little bit of acrobatics from Nicky Johns to keep it out. Brisley. Played in for Lee. Played there for Chambers. Brisley. Crossed in once more again. Chested down nicely there. Chambers with a shot! Oh, no, offside. Not given. No goal. Fractionally offside. It must have been, but a lovely goal, chested down by Pearson and really whacked with great ferocity there by Brian Chambers, but it won't count. Phil Walker. And now Perrin, given away there by Chambers. Oh, and there's Hakouk. And it's saved superbly by Nicky Johns and whacked away that time by Tony Hazel. Hakouk pouncing on that one superbly, and Nicky Johns at 6'3", needing all his stretch to get to that one, did so, and Hazel finished off the job. Certainly a very good finish to the first half. Palace leading 1-0, it could have been 1-1 apart from that offside goal, and then Palace might have snatched the second one and fisted away with great force there, but there was an infringement, and Millwall get a kick. Donaldson, the referee, looking at his watch again. Really the last seconds of the first half now. Free kick given against Jim Cannon for the foul on John Seasman. And there'll really scarcely be time to take this before the half-time whistle goes. Contact he wanted as the whistle goes for half-time. Well, certainly it was a thrilling flourish in the last 5 or 6 minutes for the first half, which helps to forget some of the rather sketchy play we had earlier on. The only goal of the first half, Ian Evans for Crystal Palace, giving them a 1-0 lead at half-time. Millwall 0, Crystal Palace 1, and we'll be right back with you with the second half of the big match. to you at the Den at Millwall, with Palace, who are about to kick off in the white strip, leading by a goal to nil. The goal scored by Ian Evans 7 minutes before half-time. Well, we complained about the windy and cold weather at the start. Now the sun has come out, and it really is quite warm here, which is, it seems traditional at the start of a football season. Perrin winning it in the air. Phil Walker, all beaten out well there by Vince Hilaire. What a good run by him again. That's not a bad cross. Well taken by Nicky Johns, who made one or two very good saves before half-time, and he did well there to snatch that ball out of the air from young Vince Hilaire. Bourne beaten by Hazel. Sanson after Hazel, but Hazel nonetheless finds Chambers. A nice touch in there for Brisley. Played in quickly there towards number 10 Ian Pearson, and it's Jim Cannon now striding away, and a lovely ball played here in a lot of space here for Jeff Bourne. Just look at the space he's got. Can he use it? A dive as he's brought down by Walker, and not a penalty given. The other thing though, if a player very often does himself out of a penalty, it seems, if he accentuates it, and certainly Alan Robinson was a bit more impressed by the dive than by the foul, or at least less impressed by the dive maybe. But no penalty. Still playing patient football, Millwall, without really the little bit of devil that they require at the moment in the opposing penalty area. And here's Pearson, played on this time for Seasman. And he turned it back, and Chambers very nearly got on the end of that one. That was a lovely move, and they very nearly opened up Crystal Palace there. Seasman stuttering a little bit in his stride there. He thought about crossing it first time, went on a little bit longer, and he pulled it back well, but Chambers couldn't quite get on the end of it. A corner then for Millwall. Kitchener up. Brisley with it. Lee with a header, and not a very good one. So a goal kick. Chambers. Very nearly ran into trouble, got himself out of it at the last moment. Here he is again. Laid forward there, just a fraction too far. The angle wasn't quite right, but it was an interesting idea. Here's Hilaire. Bourne. Hilaire again. And it's not going to be any good for Palace. 25 to go. Palace leading 1-0. Pearson. Chambers a little lucky there, but that was a bit of skill there, taking him past Graham, and that's a nice ball there, played for Seasman, and Chambers was saved well by Caswell, but what a brilliant move that by Millwall. Lovely skill all the way through, and the final shot there by Chambers not really having quite enough power to it, and Caswell getting down and turning it away. Brisley, Hamilton playing it in again for Brisley, trying to get to that byline, penalty given, no goal kick. The referee pointed that way, and it looked for a moment as though he pointed towards the square. In fact, the cheer that went up suggested that a few Millwall fans thought likewise, but it's a goal kick for Palace. Hakouk. Ozil. Seasman. Nice cross, nice turn, and a good header by Pearson Wilson. Well, that's the first real chance he's had of showing how it was he got 48 goals in the Isthmian League last season for Wycombe Wanderers. A nice cross there by Seasman, and he got his header in well, but unfortunately for him, straight at the Palace keeper. Oh, look at this for a lovely run here by Hakouk. Just wide. Got a corner. But undeniably a brilliant break there by Crystal Palace, and what a superbly timed run by Rashid Hakouk. And he got tangled up a little bit just inside that box and poked it just wide. And Palace now about to bring on substitute Peter Wall. Really good, dependable fullback. And it's in fact, believe it or not, Rashid Hakouk who's coming off. So Hakouk goes off, and Peter Wall is on. Evans right there, but Millwall had 2 players on him that time. They must regret not having had 2 on him in 7 minutes before half-time. It's Dave Donaldson. Walker. Being hounded by Chatterton. Donaldson back for Chambers. Hazel in for Lee. And away goes Perry. Hazel with it. Sanson with the throw. Here's Bourne. Again, a good turn, good skillful turner on the ball is Bourne. Chatterton hitting it well, but hitting it straight at Chambers. Wall playing it short for Nicholas. Walker really had committed himself there. Perrin on the far side, getting the header in across the face of the goal. Hilaire! Beautifully worked goal there by Crystal Palace. The long floating cross. Steve Perrin got up so well, a big player, headed it well across the box, and how Hilaire was in there like a flash into the back of the net from a very difficult angle. And that's Millwall 0, Crystal Palace 2. So his first full league game for Vince Hilaire, and he's on the score sheet. What a tremendous start for him. Brisley. Now Chambers. Sanson. Perrin. And now Ball. Almost a 1-against-1 there, very deep, but if he can get past Hazel, it might open up. Now Hamilton's gone back to cover. Hilaire's gone racing through the middle. That was a good run by him, but it's with Wall instead. And there's Hilaire again, and Bourne, well-timed run again by Crystal Palace. Perrin's waiting there, Chatterton's waiting there, and that's another goal! 3-0 to Palace. And Nicky Chatterton the scorer. And a beautiful run there again by Crystal Palace, and particularly by Jeff Bourne. Timed that run to perfection, and having got to the byline, had skill enough and sense enough to pull it back. And Nicky Chatterton coming in also had sense enough to place it rather than blast it and make it goal number 3. Millwall 0, Crystal Palace 3. And Nicky Chatterton the scorer then of the 3rd Palace goal. Not a difficult match really for Alan Robinson. Sanson. We're in injury time. Played inside for Chatterton, letting one go, and what a beautiful shot it was, with a really superb save by Nicky Johns. Chatterton, of course, always dangerous, lurking there on the edge of a penalty area in midfield, and taking that ball beautifully, hitting it well. A tremendous save, though, by Nicky Johns for Millwall. Chatterton with the corner. Donaldson with the header, and it hasn't gone very far. Ian Evans is right in there. Caswell, or rather Johns, couldn't quite get a fist to it. Final whistle, and what a great start to the new season for Crystal Palace, the team that crept in almost unnoticed into the second division with a late run last season in the third division. But they've really shown that they're a side that's going to be one to be reckoned with. Good, solid all-round performance, and one of good balance, with Ian Evans having scored a vital goal for them just before half-time, with Ryan Chambers having had one disallowed, and then young Vince Hilaire, the number 7, getting the second one. And then finally, after Jeff Bourne had made it for him, Nicky Chatterton scored the third one for Crystal Palace. So, a marvellous start for them, and a worrying one for Millwall, and a final score at the Den. Millwall 0, Crystal Palace 3.
Well, what a brilliant start in the second division for Crystal Palace. And here with me is their manager, Terry Venables. I should tell you straight away, he hasn't come alone. He's also brought his young daughter, Tracy, with a big Crystal Palace mascot, Mary, as well. But Terry, let's get down to the business. In fact, you had a rather difficult start to the day, with goalkeeper Tony Burns going down with what, suspected chickenpox?
Yeah.
An hour before the start, and that wasn't all, was it?
No, just before the game, Phil Old had come in, and him and Kenny always have a lark.
Kenny Sansom.
Kenny Sansom always have a lark. And he's pretending to butt him, and he's pretending to do it to him, and had this tremendous crash, and Phil split Kenny's eye. It looked like he was going to have a couple of stitches. But they laid him down for 20 minutes, half hour, and I had to get the team in, so I thought, well, what? It's like a get-up, I can't believe it. And but anyway, he was okay, as you saw, he was all right.
And the side played well?
Yeah.
What pleased you most about the performance yesterday?
The finishing pleased me, the amount of openings we made for ourselves. We created a lot of chances, I thought, and in the early part of the game, when it was perhaps scrappy, we were solid and we didn't give anything away. We worked hard to dispossess them and strike out at them quick. We thought that they threw perhaps a few too many men forward. We was able to hit them on the break.
You had no qualms about bringing so many youngsters in?
No. We've got a lot of youngsters at the club, not just the boys that played yesterday, and I've got confidence in all of them. And I think that they came in because Paul Inchwood was suspended, and David Swindler's chicken pox again, which is something that we've been riddled with this season. But I've got every confidence in them. They're good players, and if the players are good players, they'll play well.
And the squad is now as you want it for a second division challenge?
At the moment, I'm very pleased with the squad we've got, yeah.
Millwall, for their part, will say that after you went into the lead just before half-time, they had a goal disallowed, a tremendous shot by Brian Chambers, which I think was given for offside, was disallowed for offside. Yes. And I think as we look at it now, you'll see that there is no doubt at all that it was a very good decision here by referee Alan Robinson. Terry Brisley crossing it in.
We've pressed out fast, actually. We've come out very quick.
And look at Trevor Lee on the far side, trying to get back into an onside position. Look at the position of the referee as well, on the far side of the box there. Yeah. And as the ball goes into the net, he's already appointing there to Trevor Lee for offside. Yeah. There were no penalties in the game, and yet one or two people felt there might have been penalties. I think Millwall felt they might have had a couple. Barry Kitchener was brought down by Ian Evans, and Terry Brisley was brought down. We had a look at them. They didn't really amount to very much. But I want to show you a penalty claim that Jeff Bourne made and talk to you about players who dive. And I'm wondering if you think this is, in fact, that players very often do themselves out of a penalty by overreacting. In this particular case, here's Jeff Bourne getting
he's travelled, he's got into the box fast to stop a defender. He's committed himself, and
now, Phil Walker comes in.
Yeah. He's approached him far too fast, and it's bad defending. He looks like he's dived, but if the legs are taken away, you will go up. And I think that there is a stage here of forward. If he feels he's fouled, and it's a penalty, that he's just really trying to press his claim. And again, if it's a penalty... But
they're not very good actors sometimes, Terry.
Well, they're not paid to be good actors.
No, but they overpress their claims.
Possibly, but what I'm saying is that in that case, that it was a penalty, in my opinion. And if it's a penalty, if he's overreacted, it's not the point. It's the claim that he's made.
Yeah, but no referee wants to be made to look a fool by a guy who's diving and he's not absolutely. That brings an element of doubt surely into a referee's mind.
So we're going
into
feelings now. We're going into
him
indulging in himself. Correct.
No, they're not indulging themselves. They're human beings who have a difficult job to do and a split-second decision to make.
But I mean, what you're saying? Are you saying in that case he's overacted, or are you saying that...
I think there's a danger when players overreact, they do themselves out of a penalty, because the human element comes in with the referee making his decision there. Yeah. I mean, do you give any talks to your players about this? Do you suggest that they shouldn't overreact? No,
I just tell them to play football. Now, what they do from there on is their business. If he disallowed the goal, he's been punished for overacting if this is the case. But I think that was a perfectly good penalty. And it's the decision you've got to make on what's happened, not what's happened after the decision.
Well, one decision that a lot of people made yesterday was that you've got a young player that's going to catch a lot of people's eyes this season. 17 years old, Vince Hilaire, who scored your second goal. Tell us a little bit about this lad.
Yeah, Vince comes from Forest Gate. He played for a team in London called Beaumont, and Arnie Warren, our chief scout, he picked him up, and he's done very, very well. But he knows only too well that that's one game, and he's got to carry on doing
lovely
that sort of performance.
Tremendous.
And he sees them very square. He sees them early, that they're very square, and he tries to bend the ball in. It's a good ball, it just carries on a bit too far for Jeff.
Outside of his right boot.
Yeah,
a few years ago we would have said that's unbelievable, wouldn't we? 17 years old, playing his first game as well.
There's another one.
There's another one, Peter Nicholas. Good cross. Steve Perrin played well for you yesterday.
I thought he'd done exceptionally well. Very pleased with Stephen yesterday.
And here's Vince Hilaire. Look at Kenny Sanson, number 3 in the 6-yard box there.
Yeah, he's done to score a goal, Ken.
What did you think of Millwall, Terry? It's probably an unfair question, but I'm sure Millwall fans will be a little disappointed and wondering what the season holds for them now.
Yeah, we're all in a stage at this time where we've only just begun and everyone's feeling their feet a little bit. But as I said yesterday, I thought perhaps they got a bit impatient when the goal didn't come for them, and I thought they threw too many men forward and they left themselves flat at the back. You know, we felt this at half-time. We thought that's where we could have won the game, and I thought we made a few chances from that. In fact, we should have done even better on some of the things that we did.
But a good start for you.
It's only a start. We know that there's a long way to go. Yeah.
41 to go.
Yeah.
Terry, thanks for coming in today.
You.
Thank you. Well, also at the game was Australia's cricket captain, Greg Chappell. He's becoming quite a football fan, it seems, and after the game, I had a word with him as well. Greg, first of all, welcome to the big match. A summer that you've had bursting with sport, and you get an odd Saturday off, and you want to come and see some more of it. What's behind that?
Well, mainly I enjoyed the football, and in recent months, before I came on this tour, the business that I'm involved in took up a sponsorship of the Brisbane City Soccer Club in Brisbane in the National League that has just started in Australia, and so I thought it was a good opportunity to come and have a look firsthand. I've seen a couple of other games on previous tours, but it was well worth the opportunity.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. 3 goals. It certainly makes some watching. But Crystal Palace played fairly well in patches there. They really looked keen to get to the ball and finished it off well.
Yes, they've got a nice blend, haven't they, of 1 or 2 oldsters, like George Graham, for example, who keep them ticking along, and some good youngsters coming in as well.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of flair there. I thought they looked as though they were in for a good season.
Yeah.
I'll certainly be watching with interest for the rest of the year anyway.
You're almost a devoted Crystal Palace fan already.
Well, almost. I've got to be a bit careful because the Millwall club were very good looking after us this afternoon. So
that's good.
It's been a good afternoon for us.
Were you a player yourself? Did you play any soccer?
Not really, only a few pick-up games in the street and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I didn't. I would love to have, but it's only really been, say, the last 10 years or so that soccer has really become a very good sport in Australia. We've got the Australian rules codes and the rugby codes, which have been stronger. I think the soccer is going to be the up-and-coming sport in the next, say, 10, 15 years in Australia.
We had Jeff Thompson on the programme right at the start of your tour, and he claimed to be a bit of a player. Who else are the footballers in the Australian touring party?
Well, most of the lads are keen on the game. They all watch the game. Very few of them have played a great deal. Craig Sargent, I'd say, is probably one who follows the English football very closely. And we played a lot of football ourselves at the start of the tour when the rain was coming down. We couldn't play much cricket. In fact, we looked at one stage as though we were going to play more football than cricket, but unfortunately that changed a bit.
Yeah. Well, if you get a spare Saturday or any other lads, come and join us again. It's been nice to have you with us.
Thank you, and thanks for having us.
let's get on with some more action as we come to our second game, and it's Newcastle United against Leeds United. Newcastle's players, of course, have had a summer of discontent with their board of directors over terms. Leeds have lost the services of their excellent coach Don Howe to Arsenal, but all that, of course, was behind them as they turned on a thriller for the 36,000 fans. Ken Wolstenholme is the commentator. The pictures come from Tyne Tees Television. Newcastle are in the stripes.
Right. Newcastle not running off the ball as well as Leeds are. Craig pushing it across to his central defender, McCaffrey. It's been a work by Barrowclough. Allen will keep that in. Oh, a great one and a goal! And it's scored by Mickey Burns. The shot came from Cassidy, but Burns got the goal. So Garling saving that ball going over the line, pushing it back, and Cassidy coming in with a tremendous shot. Difficult to tell whether that would have gone in, but Mickey Burns was there just to deflect it with his head. And so, after 10 minutes play, it's 1-0 for Newcastle United. Referee has given the hands, given the free kick to Leeds. The culprit was Tommy Craig. Chief free kick taker. Lorimer. And, oh, a save right on the line by Kennedy. Not this time, though. Hankin is equalised. And so that mix-up in the Newcastle defence. The free kick coming over from Lorimer. And there seemed to be an awful mix-up. Kennedy getting the ball off the line when Curry put it towards the goal, but it only came out to Hankin, and Hankin knocking it back into the back of the net to equalise after 21 minutes. Lorimer. Hankin. Eddie Gray now on the scene. He's got Graham with him. Here's Graham, number 11. And a splendid save by Mahoney from a splendid shot. Now, getting his head to that one, putting McQueen under a bit of pressures. Gowling came in. Craig. With Caffrey. Let's see a blatant shove by McQueen. And strangely enough, footballers are such innocent darlings, aren't they? Teed up. Craig, now Kennedy. That's the second goal! That was a beautiful goal from a set piece. The ball tapped to one side to Craig. Craig putting it square, and Kennedy coming down like an express train, hit it low, hard and accurately into the corner of the net. And that was a simply superb goal from a well-thought-out free kick, needlessly given away by Gordon McQueen. McQueen getting up, and a penalty! Penalty. Brilliant save, but it was a brilliant save by Kennedy. He's not paid to do that. And he's given the yellow card, of course, for intentional hands. Well, you can't penalise a man for anything else but intentional hands. 2-1 down. Leeds have a penalty. Lorimer facing a barrage. Cheers, goes, catcalls, and scores. That just shows that you can cheer, boo, catcall, all you like. But a player of Lorimer's class and with his powerful and well-directed shot isn't going to be put off by that sort of thing. Maitland to Curry. Is it going back to the goalkeeper? So Leeds are very satisfied with 1 point from an away game, the opening here the season. Canel not satisfied with a point and really worrying Cherry almost into a mistake. It's James Park Raw in the last minute, trying to snatch the winning goal. Burns! Burns is on it! 55 seconds of injury time, and the Leeds defence thought they could get it away. There was a great attempt at an overhead kick, and the ball ran loose to Mickey Burns, and he doesn't miss those.
Well, a thrilling finish there, with a victory for Newcastle then at the very last gasp. Well, our last game today features our cup holders Manchester United, now with Dave Sexton as their manager, and yesterday they'd hoped to get off to a sparkling start when they visited Birmingham City, who indeed have been pretty active in the transfer market in the summer, taking in men like Keith Birchin from Ipswich, Tony Towers from Sunderland and Pat Howard from Arsenal. Hugh Johns was there to see Birmingham against Manchester United.
It's a good one in, and it's a goal. Lou Macari, 1-0 Manchester United. Corner kick swinging in from the boot of Steve Coppell. Pearson and Macari both going for it. Pearson was injured in the jump, but Macari's header sneaks in past Montgomery. Coppell beating Howard, comes for Pearson. McElroy going through. Dummy run comes to Hill. Low cross. Howard hooks it out. Coppell knocks it forward. McCreary trying to get there. And Howard a toe poke then. Clearly the Birmingham side, 3 new men. They haven't yet settled into their rhythm. United unchanged from most of the back end of last season. Playing with great teamwork. That's up by Macari. Hill trying to get there. Macari! Goal! Lou Macari, second goal of the game. 2-0 Manchester United. Unhappy face of Jim Montgomery. He's hardly had a save to make, and he's taken the ball out of the net twice. That's United supporters. A little bit of derision thrown at Birmingham City fans. Again, Birmingham in trouble. The throw in, the ball across, Macari under it, the toe poke, straight in the roof of the net. And Hibbett gets it forward for Birchin. Connolly being chased by Nicol. And Nicol won it well. Hendry won it back. Coppell sticking to his job too. And Connolly gets there. Birchin going down the left side, and he's free. Bucking across to cover. Ball in for Francis, the dummy for Hibbett. Yes! Terry Venables celebrates as captain of Birmingham. It's 2-1. That's put some life back into this Birmingham side. And skipper Hibbett, the man who did it. That was a beautiful ball down the left side for Birchin. The ball across the box. Lovely little dummy by Francis. Hibbett looked as though he delayed it too long. But a nice little chip shot finds the back of the net. Little flick back to McCreary again. It's Hill. Coppell. Alveston saying, leave it, it's mine. McElroy. Could be here. Oh, and he just got it. Montgomery only just got his fingertips to that. That was a close shave. And here's Hill. And that's not close at all. That is right bang on the target. Gordon Hill, ace top scorer for United last season, stuns Birmingham with United's 3rd goal of the game. Anguish and anger on Jim Montgomery's face, expressive in his hunched shoulders then. The first attack, Montgomery only just getting his fingers to the shot from McElroy, and before Birmingham could regroup, That ball knocked in beautifully, and Hill whacks it on the turn in the back of the net. It's McCreary. Howard trying to get at him, gives the corner away. Matt Howard, a man from Arsenal. With 8 minutes to go, Manchester United 3-1 up. And Hill, the scorer of the third United goal, to take the corner. To Curler. McElroy up. McCreary. And Lou Macari gets his hat-trick. No. Yes. Yes, Macari has got his hat-trick. So it's 4-1. And Birmingham City's stunned Lou Macari starts the season in triumphant mood. His third game of the game, goal of the game. Hill's corner swinging in. McCreary had a chance. Was blocked down by Montgomery, and there was little Lou Macari to pinch his third goal of the game. Hat-trick, Lou Macari.
And what a wonderful start for Manchester United and Dave Sexton. That's it. A new season is underway, and we shall be back again with you with more action next week. Already in the first week, 2 candidates for golden goals have come our way, and naturally enough, one of them, that real beauty by Gordon Hill for Manchester United.
Could be here. Oh, and he just got it. Montgomery only just got his fingertips to that. Well, that was a close shave. And here's Hill. And that's not close at all. That is right bang on the target.
And count the passes as Nicky Chatterton gets one for Palace.
And our ball, almost a 1-against-1 there, very deep, but if he can get past Hazel, it might open up. Now Hamilton's gone back to cover. Hilaire's gone racing through the middle. That was a good run by him, but it's with Wall instead. And there's Hilaire again, and Bourne, well-timed run again by Crystal Palace. Perrin's waiting there, Chatterton's waiting there, and that's another goal! 3-0 to Palace.